And good afternoon, everyone. My name is Tania Rogers, and I work for News Channel 5. And today is a big day. It is a huge day if you haven't heard yet. Just in case, today we're doing an all-out rally to get as many people as possible to sign up and register for the Susan G. Komen Race for the Cure. Some of you have done it in years past. I know I have. I've done it since my kids were born. I had one in a stroller and one in my backpack. I should have brought that picture with me. And now they're in high school and a freshman in college. So it's been so many years. And joining me today are some very powerful women in the community. I want to introduce them to you. Debbie Hollister, and she is a breast cancer survivor. Yay, high fives. I have to do high fives from a distance, right, Debbie?
Absolutely.
And then we have Jessica Patykula. Yay, Jessica. Woo! And then we have Janie. Yay. So I wanted to just take just a few moments, ladies, as people are just tuning in and watching and joining us in this conversation about a very serious topic about breast cancer. Debbie, if you could tell us just a little bit about how you got involved with Susan G. Komen, and tell us just briefly about your breast cancer survivor, and congratulations.
Thank you. Thank you, Tania. Yes, I started getting involved with Susan G. Komen in 2012. And what they had asked me to do was to start getting my county, Martin County, involved with the Race for the Cure and other events that they are having across West Palm Beach and in Martin County. I was diagnosed in 2003 for the first time, and then again in 2004, and went through radiation and chemotherapy. So I felt that it was my need to go out into the community and start educating people on early detection. And that is one thing that Susan G. Komen just is very adamant about, is early detection is the answer so that we can get this eradicated. So I've been involved for a long time, and then I was a Warrior in Pink in 2014. And in 2015, I decided that I would take the task of being the chairperson for the Warrior in Pink program here in West Palm Beach.
Thank you so much, Debbie, for sharing. And then Jessica, if you could share your story with everyone.
Sure. I am Jessica. I was diagnosed on January 25th of 2019. I'm coming up on 2-year survivor. I was actually breastfeeding my youngest daughter at 13 months when my husband actually discovered the lump. It was devastating news to a young mom, but I had the bilateral mastectomy with reconstruction, and I didn't have to go through chemo or radiation. I'm one of the lucky ones, and everything turned out really, really well. And I had a ton of support from my family and amazing friends. So I'm very, very lucky and very, very blessed.
That's so cool. Thank you for sharing that. And it sounds like you're working from home too, right? And then also, Janie, if you could share your story with us.
Sure. My name is Janie, and I moved to Florida in I think it was like 2001, and I started doing the Race for the Cure because I just thought, wow, what a great thing and a way to support anyone who's involved with breast cancer. And lo and behold, in 2012, there I was, a survivor. Mine was very small. I was stage 0 to 1, so they caught my breast cancer very early. They have been watching me for calcifications for several years because I have dense breasts, which is one of the risk factors for women, and women should know that. So for a few years, they were watching it with mammograms and ultrasounds. And then in 2012, the calcification had gotten larger and changed shape. And, I went down the road of a biopsy and yada, yada, yada. And again, I was very, very lucky. I had a lumpectomy, and then had a mammocyte put in, which was one of the newer techniques that they were doing in Martin County, which allowed me to I'm sorry, which allowed me to have radiation for only 5 days. So I had radiation in the morning and afternoon, twice a day for 5 days, and bingo, that was it. And that was on a Friday, and on Monday I was back on the tennis court. So it was amazing. But I never thought that it would ever happen to me, of course, like many of us, okay, because I was young. I mean, I wasn't young, I was 62, 63, but I was healthy, you know. So like they say, 1 in 8, and you just never know. But it's not a death sentence. So I just want to tell you that.
Well, congratulations to you ladies. And we do have some of your friends that are kind of commenting, saying hi. For those of you who are just tuning in, if you have any questions of these ladies, please make sure to ask in the comment section. We'll definitely see that. So one of you ladies could explain, this year, it's 30 years for Susan G. Komen Race for the Cure, but we're not going to be walking in downtown West Palm Beach. There won't be thousands of us there. So one of you could explain, how do you register? Because we're doing an all-out rally today, wanting as many people to register today. How do you register?
So you can go to Susan G. I'm sorry, apologize. I got to change my notes. You can go to KomenFlorida.org, and when the page opens up, there is a register button that you can click on, and you can register for the virtual race. You can also create a team and get your friends and family to join the team, and it can actually be linked to your Facebook page, and you can raise monies for Susan G. Komen. And it's very easy to do. I have done it for the last 3 years this way, and it's very easy. And it's very easy to raise money by doing it on the Facebook page also.
Now, if you could explain to people, it's different this year, because normally when we register whichever race, whether it's $30, $35, $40, whatever it might be.
Right.
But it's a little bit different this year. I mean, it's almost free in a way.
Yes.
If you could explain that.
It is, yes. So when you go on to register, there is not a registration fee. But if you raise $100, you will receive a t-shirt, a Susan G. Komen Race for the Cure 2021 t-shirt, and that will be mailed to you. So if you raise the $100, you'll get the t-shirt. If you would like it mailed to you, there is a cost to have it mailed to you. Also, you can raise monies and you will get a yard sign that says, I race for the cure for or because, and you can put on there a message to, if you have a family member or a friend, you can put their name on the yard sign and then put the yard sign out there. You can race around in your neighborhood. You can go to a park. You can go to, if you have access to a school field, and walk around their football field or whatever the case may be. We just ask that you please, please, please social distance.
Talk about how people can get creative. Behind me, I have some of the things that I have worn. They're like little tutus and all kinds of stuff. And ladies, I had to bring this. When we do the race, everybody's decked out in pink. So how do you encourage people to be creative in their neighborhood, social distance, but still be creative? What fun things can they do?
Jessica, why don't you tell us what you're going to do?
Well, every year I've been running Race for the Cure since I was a freshman in high school in Wellington. Last year was my first year actually getting to wear the pink shirt. This year I'm going to run the race like I usually do around my neighborhood with my family. We'll all be decked out in our pink. My girls will be wearing pink head to toe, my husband too. And we'll run the race. And then when we finish, we're going to try and get a couple local friends and family members together and walk it as well. And I'm encouraging people who don't live locally to also just dress up in pink, take a bunch of pictures, tag me on social media so that I can post it on my page and just show that everybody's kind of coming together, but obviously at a distance, to support such an amazing cause.
And we're showing video right now of the hundreds and thousands of people that come out every year in downtown West Palm Beach. And I know it's a little bit different this year, but we can still be creative and still give to the cause. And I have one of the comments from Kate Watts said, she asked if I'm going to wear the tutu this year. Yes, I am going to wear it. You may not be able to see it, but I will definitely be wearing it because it's so much fun. just to be creative. Now, Jessica, I wanted to continue, and I know I'm going to go a little bit more on the serious side because breast cancer is a serious issue, is tell me what you learned. You're so young. What surprised you the most after you were diagnosed?
What surprised me the most was how many resources are out there. I just felt as soon as I got the diagnosis, my heart sunk to my feet. I was leveled. And just to know that there are resources out there, there's people out there to support you. There's people to talk to, and everybody just kind of comes together for you. And it's very comforting to know that somebody so young with 2 young children, like I said, my youngest was 13 months at the time, and my oldest was not even 5 yet. And it was so hard. And to have those people to lean on in those times it's hard to even put into words how much it meant to me.
So what's your advice to someone who's your age or younger? Because we know there have been many women much younger than you who have also been diagnosed. What's your advice to them if they're dealing with a really hard time right now?
I would say, reach out. There's groups on social media. You can reach out to me. I'm so happy to talk to anybody with questions or concerns or worries. I've been there. I've walked in your shoes. I was, a super active young lady. I run, half marathons. I play tennis every weekend. And, to just be told that, yeah, you have breast cancer and this is your treatment plan and this is what we're going to do. It was just a blur. So I would say early detection is obviously key. Catch it early. Get your mammograms. If a mammogram isn't enough, because I had really small, dense breasts, and my mammogram actually turned up completely white. It wasn't even detected on a mammogram. They had to go further and do an ultrasound-guided biopsy. I had to have MRIs. So advocate for your health and, be your own voice and speak up when you don't think that it's enough, because it can happen to anybody. Age does not discriminate against this disease.
And I just want to mention again that those of you who are tuning in, if you have any kind of questions for these ladies, whether it has to do with registering or how they dealt with their breast cancer and how they dealt with treatment or what kind of treatment they received, please feel free to leave comments for us. Now, there is a reminder, and you ladies probably already know this, that you can pick up your t-shirts at a socially distanced curbside packet pickup at the Gardens Mall on January 23rd from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. That's pretty cool. You can still pick up those packets. Janie, did you want to share a little bit about what you learned going through your breast cancer and going through treatment and what you learned about yourself?
I learned about, well, first of all, I learned about all, like Jessica was saying, all the resources they are out there today. I mean, when I was first diagnosed, my surgeon was wonderful, and the oncologist, and Debbie was a great help to me because she's been a great friend and a resource and a great support group. And so is my other friends and family. But the resources that are out there are just amazing. And that's really, really, really important to keep going and to allow people, talk to people and realize that, there is life after breast cancer for sure. So that's really important. What I learned about myself is, well, a lot of things, but what I learned, major thing that I learned about myself is that what attacks you makes you stronger. I know you've all heard that word, but it's so true, okay? And, I never thought, like Jessica, that this would ever happen to me, okay? And I was much older than Jessica, and, kids are grown and all that good stuff, but it still affects you the same way. It still was like, you've got to be kidding me. I'll never forget, sitting in the surgeon's office when I got the news, and, I'm about to cry again, but anyway, but it does make you stronger, and it makes you realize how precious life is and how you need to spread that word to everybody, that life is short, but life is great. So I'm blessed.
And I know we mentioned before before we got started with this about so many of our lives, you ladies surviving breast cancer, and how we all know someone who has struggled with it or lost their battle. And I can think of several friends who are survivors. And I can think of a friend that I was best friends in college that a few years later, she got married and she wrote me a note and said, I've been diagnosed, but I think I'm going to be okay. And the following year, she had passed away. So, and she had 2 young kids. So, you know, we've shed many tears, you know, even for the ones that I have one that's battling it. I mean, she's tough. She's a tough cookie, but you know, she's having, you know, she's lost all her hair and she's tried to find unique ways to deal with that. So if you ladies could kind of share a little bit about that, of the side effects, how did you deal with it? Because I know my friend, she's lost all of her hair, others lose their appetite. How did you get through those moments?
Well, I don't think Jessica or Janie had chemotherapy in their treatment. I did, and it was tough. The toughest day was when my husband had to shave my head because I woke up that morning and my hair was on my pillow. For the first week, when I would take a shower and I didn't have my wig on, I wouldn't even look at myself in the mirror because it just didn't look like me. You don't have any eyelashes, you don't have any eyebrows, you don't have any hair. So it was very difficult, and it was a very low moment. But on the bright side of it, I had a wig that even my brother didn't know that I had lost my hair, because when I was in public, I looked just like I did before I was diagnosed with breast cancer and going through chemotherapy. So just remember that this is a short time period, hopefully, in your life that you have to go through with not having hair and eyelashes and eyebrows and all of that. So when I'm speaking with people about their breast cancer treatment, I tell them, just look at it one day at a time, and there will be light at the end of the tunnel. I promise, light at the end of the tunnel.
And Debbie, could you mention again, how can people register for the virtual Race for the Cure?
If they go to KomenFlorida.org and click on the register button, they can go ahead and register themselves as an individual. They can register for a team that has already been registered, or they can start a team and raise money for the Komen, Susan G. Komen.
Now, ladies, if you could share your thoughts. We heard that several women who would normally go for mammograms ended up delaying it or not going at all when the pandemic started. So tell me, what are your thoughts about that? You've probably heard it before, and doctors that I've interviewed have said they try to make the places as safe as possible, not to delay your mammogram. But talk a little bit about that. I have some ladies that aren't getting them done.
Well, I think they should just, the doctor's offices are very safe, okay? And it's really important. I know when I was going through, when they were checking me out for my calcifications, I was almost going every 6 months, okay, just to absolutely make sure. So I think it's important to trust the safety of your surgeons and your doctors, and go ahead and get yourself checked out, whether it's mammogram and ultrasound, because early, as we've all said, early detection is your best friend. Absolutely.
And Jessica, did you have any comments to add?
I highly recommend people going and getting their mammograms. Like Janie said, the doctor's offices are so safe right now. You know, wear your mask, social distance, but keep in mind that, you know, you have to take care of you too, and your health has to come first. So, you know, get out there, make that appointment for your mammogram, and, you know, fingers crossed everything comes out okay.
Jessica, we have it for all of you ladies. We have some of your friends giving you a shout out in the comments section. I just want to stay with you for a moment, Jessica, and just say, after dealing with the breast cancer, what do you look at differently now? Do you smell the roses a little bit more? Do you enjoy music more? Do you enjoy your run more? What is really like, wow, I'm really appreciating this?
I definitely really appreciate getting out with my kids, obviously, but I do love getting that alone time to exercise. I love going for runs. I've always been a runner. But after I was diagnosed, And after my surgery, I vowed to start training for half marathons. And after I was cleared by my doctors in July of 2019, I started training for a half marathon. I ran my first half marathon on December 2019, the Palm Beach Half Marathon, and then I did the following February a Disney Princess Half Marathon. So it takes your mind somewhere else. After you've been through something like this, you need an outlet to just release all the emotion that comes with it, and you feel so much lighter after you can, get out there and do something you love to do.
Do you ladies feel that having family and friend support is huge?
Yes, absolutely. Yeah. Family and friends are very, very, very important. And I had a friend who was diagnosed a year before me, and it was weird. It was a person that didn't want anybody to know. I mean, she kept it so private, and I think that was not a real positive thing for her. But for me, it was like I wanted to talk about it with friends and have the support of family, because that was so important, and it gave you that reassurance that your life was going to be okay. I think that's really important.
It really is important, because it's very difficult to walk this journey of breast cancer and breast cancer treatment. So if you can walk the journey with other breast cancer survivors or with family and friends. I was blessed. My mother went to every single one of my chemo treatments with me for the whole time. My husband was home with me. He would come home from work every day at lunch and make sure I was okay. And family and friends would bring meals over, so my husband didn't have to worry about feeding our children, because our boys were in high school and active in social committees or social sports and things like that. So it's important, because you really are checked out. I was concerned about what I was going through and how I was feeling. So to have that support of family and friends, and it's just so important to have that.
So on that note, how important is it for people to register and take part in this virtual race?
It's very important, because we rely on people that are out in the community together with us and support us in the journey that we go through, and also make awareness of, there's so many different people that can get this. And men, people didn't think men could ever get breast cancer, but we have a male breast cancer warrior in pink this year. We have had one the last 3 years, so it's great. So please go to WPTV.com and click on the register button, or go to KomenFlorida.org, please.
And Janie and Jessica, any other thoughts as well?
No, just get out there and race with us. We'd love to have you.
Is there any other thoughts that you would like to share with the people who are tuning in on that journey? What about that journey? You shared of how scary it was, how family and friends helped to support you. What other things do you think would be important for people to know?
Well, when you're diagnosed, it's a very scary time. And for me, I did not have anyone in my family that had ever been diagnosed. So I had to rely on my doctors. And I built a tremendous relationship with both my surgeon and my oncologist and my radiologist. And today I am still, I'm like friends with them. They're like family. So it's important to build that relationship, because they're going to be a part of your journey for the rest of your life. You're going to be going and seeing them for checkups and everything. So it's important to do that. And also, I'm a firm believer of getting education out there, that as soon as you're diagnosed, reach out to someone that you know that has had breast cancer, or talk with your family and friends, and they say, oh, I just was diagnosed with breast cancer. Do you know of anybody that's been diagnosed that I can have a conversation with? We totally understand the first week is really, really difficult, because you're going through so many emotions, but it's important to understand that you're not on this journey alone. You have Janie and Jessica and myself and everybody else that is a breast cancer survivor. We call it the sister brotherhood because it's important to build that relationship.
Now, we were talking about how you'll be walking in your neighborhood with your family and friends, socially distanced, of course, but it's amazing of how many companies, local companies, how huge of a group that they have turn out for these races. FPL has so many employees that come out. You have Comcast, you have Channel 5. We always have a huge group that will go walking together, and then we have a smaller group that will go running. And tell me about even getting, what are your thoughts on, here it is, you're getting support from all these local companies who have been involved, not just a few years, but many years.
Yes, we're very, very fortunate. We have all of these great sponsors and teams like Channel 5 and well, there's Lynn Levy and and Office Depot, FPL, and Tropicana, and we're very, very blessed. And they are going to be doing their own virtual race also, on January 30th, starting at 9 a.m. And it's amazing. It's really, really amazing. We're very sad that we can't do it at the amphitheater this year. This, which you're watching right now, is actually my favorite part of the whole event. I enjoy walking, but all of us up on stage and seeing the sea of people just cheer us on for our survivorship is just, it's very heartwarming. I get choked up every year.
I agree. I feel like I get choked up too. And what is it? They do them in years, right? Like in 5-year increments, I think.
Mm-hmm.
And I know when you first see like the youngest ones, you're like in shock. And then when they keep going, you're a survivor for 20 years, 25 years, and you're like, oh my goodness, and I don't think there's a dry eye there.
No.
I don't think there's a dry eye. Now, Jessica, Janie, have you ladies been to when they have the survivors up on stage, or have you been one of the ones on stage?
Yes. It's amazing. Yeah. It's amazing. Very powerful, very rewarding. And what's funny is I'm going to miss that this year because I've always seen the same people up there. And I hope to see them this year. So we'll see them somewhere. I know they're all fine.
Jessica, tell me, have you been on the stage?
Last year was actually my first year on the stage as a less than 1 year survivor at the time of the race. And it was extremely moving and powerful to be up there surrounded by all of these breast cancer survivors and thrivers, and then to look out into the amphitheater and see just this sea of pink and all of this support of families and friends. It was just amazing.
Yeah, it is. It is very, very, very emotional. And it's funny because sometimes, how they have, where you can grab something to eat or for breakfast, and I'll see a lot of the survivors, everybody's happy, laughing and everything. And then when they start getting on the stage, it's like literally just goes to all tears, and you're just amazed. And even some of the friends that, we've kept in touch, I've seen them on the stage, just like Debbie, how you recognize someone on the stage.
Yes,
it's just
exactly.
You get excited, and it's such a serious thing. I wanted to just play something real quick for you from a doctor about the importance of actually getting a mammogram, because we do want to continue to reiterate that. And I know several doctors told me that this week. They said, we just want people to know, because of the pandemic, please don't let that stop you from getting your annual mammogram or doing follow-up visits to maybe something that may have shown up on a mammogram. So we just wanted to kind of play that doctor, what that doctor had to say, Dr. Elena Reel.
Breast cancer remains the most common cancer in women, and whether you have family history or not, we are all at risk. So it's important to keep up with your annual mammograms and make sure you get your mammogram done at a good quality facility where they have 3D mammogram and a fellowship trained breast radiologist reading the films.
And also I had another doctor tell me that you know, don't let the pandemic stop you. They said since they've been able to continue those mammograms, how they try to limit the people in the waiting area, how they have sometimes people have to wait in their cars and they call them just to kind of keep everybody, because they said they have had where people are kind of concerned of, hey, I need to get my mammogram done, but I'm concerned about the pandemic. And so they try to reassure people. Ladies, I'd like to have a final thought from each one of you. So Janie, I'll start with you. Final thoughts that you would like to share with the people who are watching right now.
Final thought. Let's see. Okay. Register for the race. Have fun. Wear your pink. Get your mammograms. And remember, it is never a death sentence. Life is wonderful. That's it.
To the point. Jessica, did you have any final thoughts?
I just wanted to remind everybody that early detection is key. Just make sure to lean on your friends and family. You are not in this alone. There are so many support groups. Find one and lean on them and talk as much as you feel like you need to talk. Do not hold anything back. Let it all out. You will feel so much better. And join us on January 30th for the Susan G. Komen 30th anniversary virtual Race for the Cure. Wear your pink, take pictures, tag us on Facebook. Just come out there and have a great time.
That's so cool. You ladies are going to make me start crying. Have our own little emotional moment here. One thing before I get to Debbie, do you ladies ever journal? Were you ever encouraged to journal, or it's just more of having that talk was so much easier and so much better with someone that you trust?
I'm a talker. So I just like to talk. Yeah. Yeah. But a journal, I mean, that's a good thought. You know, I never thought about that, but yeah.
I'm a talker too, but I do like to write down. I do like to write down some thoughts, and I do have a couple of very select friends that I do share a lot of personal things with, and they're great sounding boards, and they're so positive, and they're just, I'm so lucky.
Yeah, very blessed. I just wanted to share this real quick. Carol Hart, that was cute. She says, quote, "You don't know how strong you are until being strong is the only choice you have. God bless." And I know so many of your friends have been giving you shout outs. So Debbie, final thoughts that you would like to leave with the people who are tuning in right now?
Well, I think it's very important that people recognize that Susan G. Komen does a lot for our community. The people that they help people with not only their treatment, but also paying their rent or their mortgage payment or whatever they need help with. So it's important that you link yourself with an organization like Susan G. Komen, and that can help you get through this journey, because it is a journey. So please register for the race January 30th, and help us to get the word out, that, get your family and friends to join in and help us raise money so we can help these people in our community to get through this tragic disease.
Yeah, definitely. Thank you very much for sharing that. And don't forget, today's an all day, we're doing that whole day rally to get people to sign up and to register. You can go to WPTV.com/Komen, and you can definitely sign up there. And Debbie, one more time, explain for those who are just tuning in, and explain the registration, that we're not registering for normally the $35 or $40. Explain briefly how that works.
Right. So this year is virtual because of COVID, and you can race wherever you are, through your neighborhood, through a park, whatever works for you. But when you register, there is no registration fee. If you raise $100, you will get a 2021 Susan G. Komen Race for the Cure t-shirt. So just go on and register and join. And on the day of the race, you can take pictures, take videos, and then you put them up on your Facebook page, and we would love to see them all, and so we can all be together, just like if we were at the Meijer.
Except for, I think this time, instead of dressing up myself and the kids, I can probably dress up the dog now, which is so cool. Because now that I'll be home, because I can't venture out with him, but now that I can be home, I can actually dress him up. So I just wanted to end the moment and putting my little ears on to say, ladies, you got so many shout outs today. with the comments and just want to say you are obviously very loved and very appreciated. So Debbie, Janie, and Jessica, thank you so much for joining us today. You ladies were great. We got through with just a little bit of tears in the eyes, but it didn't come down yet. It'll probably be later when I start thinking about it a little bit more. Anything else that you ladies would like to share?
I would just like to thank you, Tania, and Channel 5. You have been wonderful for a number of years in getting the word out for Susan G. Komen, and we really do appreciate you having us on today.
Thank you very much.
No,
Appreciate
very
it.
welcome. And I know, I just want to say this really quick, Debbie, you mentioned about the different services that Komen is able to provide. And I have interviewed people who have actually benefited from that, whether it was maybe in a community, maybe low income community where they could not afford. I'm trying to be serious, but I got these things on. I hope it's okay to have these on. But, you know, in a low income community where, you know, people definitely could not afford anything, don't even have a primary care physician. And so Susan G. Komen has helped them out with that. And I've interviewed those people who were very thankful, because sometimes people put their own health aside, right? Especially when you have kids, you kind of focus on the kids, you focus, you know, on the spouse, and then you're the last person on the list. And sometimes by the time you get to your health, sometimes it's just in very dire need. So I'm glad of what Susan G. Komen does in our community. And I thank you ladies so much, and congratulations that you are survivors. That is wonderful.
Thank you.
Thank you.
High five. All right, ladies. And don't forget, folks, register. Don't forget to register today. Don't forget WPTV.com/Komen. And also on the news part of it, tonight between 5 and 6:30, we will have more short stories about registering for the race. Have a great day, everyone. Love y'all. Bye.
Bye.